Next, let's queer up out South Florida. Wilton Manors' burgeoning theater district hit by hate. The intersection of LGBTQ+ and the arts communities has been strong for decades, but combining the two also creates an easy target for criminals. In this week's Out South Florida, we're reminded that this week, when Island City Stage was the victim of vandals. Their new landscaping was destroyed along with planters at the neighboring Foundry Plays of Wilton Theater. Beyond that, surveillance video from a business across the street shows a person shutting off water to the building and Bodytek Fitness. Island City Stage's managing director, Martin Childers, told me, quote, "We just had the new planters installed and anchored 2 weeks ago, and it was paid for by donors. As a nonprofit, everything we do comes at a great cost to us and our community that makes it possible. To see it destroyed in any way is disheartening. And if we were targeted in any way, that's a totally different story." Were they targeted? Wilton Manors police are investigating, but it appears so. LGBTQ+ owned and or friendly businesses were the target. That section of Dixie Highway is becoming the next Wilton Drive and, during early evening hours, is an LGBTQ+ hotspot. This happened around 3 a.m. Tuesday morning when no one was around. And that fits the MO of a cowardly bigot. It also serves as a reminder that we must always be careful, especially in the places we feel safest. You know, Chief Blocker talked with me and the community a couple weeks ago about see something, say something. Obviously, there was no one else around to see something or say something there, but there's no reason that violence can't happen to us at other times of the day. Yeah. And this may sound like, oh, it's just a petty destruction, but it's not. It's an attack on our community.
It's our businesses. These are our safe spaces, like you said. When you think about the Foundry, when you think about Island City, when you think about Bodytek, they're all owned and operated by gay people, you know? I mean, so it really does feel like a targeted attack, you know? And I don't like how it makes me feel, John, you know? I really don't. You know, are we open for more of this? You know, and it's, again, like you said, you know, see something, say something is so important, right? You know, when we leave the studio, when we leave, you know, partying on Wilton Drive, we're like, oh, let me walk you to your car. Let me make sure you get to your car. We've got to get back to those times, folks, because it's true. You know, even in our own little nook, right, where we think that we're the safest, which is Wilton Drive, anything could happen.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that the divisiveness that came out of, you know, the last however many years is really starting to blow up more. And it's showing up in a lot more places than just the LGBTQ community. And it says something about our society. And will we ever get to the point where this, you know, these hate, these instances of hate and vandalism and violence,
it sucks. I would love to tell you that one day it'll stop, right? But the reality is that we've been like this for a very long time. There's always been hate in the world, and right now it's just on our face,
coming, you know, out to the surface,
and it feels awful, and especially during the holidays. Like how the holidays are so rough as it is,
right?
You know, for a lot of LGBTQ+ stuff. And I know people that like go to the gym or go to Bodytek or something like that just to get their mind off their crazy parents that are coming to town. You know what I mean?
And you know, on that note, Faye, I'll just say, you know, holidays are a difficult time for a lot of people. You may not be celebrating with loved ones that you've lost. You may have trauma from early holidays.
You may have lost somebody recently.
Exactly.
You know, it might be your first holiday without somebody. And
so
that's rough.
Reach out for help.
Yes, ma'am.
Reach out for help. You know, find a place. If you have friends and you don't have a place to go, say, hey, can you have an extra seat at the table? And conversely, if you know someone who is alone, who lives alone, maybe lost their partner or something, invite them over.
You're so sweet.
Invite them over. And, you know, if they do have plans, they'll say, oh, thank you, but I have plans. But the
you
worst
never
thing,
know.
the worst thing is to leave them
Completely.
alone, and then they're by themselves, and they don't want to tell anybody.
And that person might be alone and go, wait a minute, but Cindy invited me. You know what I mean? And look, and here's a personal invitation. If you want to come and hang out with me, the Cuban, and her mom, the Trumper, you're more than welcome to come hang out with us. I mean, I don't know if you want to, but you're more than welcome.
I like to approach the world from a place where I believe that people are inherently good. And when stuff like this happens, I just, mean people suck.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what? I wouldn't let this ruin your time, your holiday, whatever.
Right, exactly.
These incidences, as Faye said, will go on till the end of time, right? So it happens. There's so many great things that are happening. There's so many, I know to look at Florida in particular with DeSantis and everything.
Right.
It's a permanent scowl on the face. But there are many grassroots organizations that are doing so much to help. I get hit up by them every day, like 3 or 4 of them, and
Give me
texts
money.
and emails and all the different political action committees. So there are great things moving, and I have a positive outlook of what's going to happen in the next couple of years.
Well, you're the one who's going to live the longest of everyone at this table.
You really don't know how old he is.
I do.
No, you
we're all
don't, because you
older
keep
than-
on thinking that he's not young. But
But I'm here for it.
I'm not going to mess that up for you, puppy. I got your back.